This is your boy Rudo Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Thursday, February 14th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure to click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy?
Yo, what's up, man?
Not much. Real quick, before we get into this slate, hey, happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Hopefully everybody has a really, really good day. With your loved ones, definitely. Hey, make sure and don't be making no babies today, man. But yeah, man. So I'm ready to jump into this 3-game slate. It's an ugly 3-game slate. Real quick before we do get into it, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second, click the like button down below for me. Helps me out. Really appreciate that from you guys. And yeah, man, what's your overall thoughts on this slate real quick before we jump into it?
Move on.
Move on? I feel it. Hey, but the problem is this is the last slate, and then we have a bunch of days off for the All-Star game, so we got to get some action in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think today is it's so ugly. Today is like the absolute perfect day to max enter, throw 150 variations on a 3-game slate and kind of move on. That's what I'm really at on this slate.
You can eliminate a hell of a lot of people on the slate and have a pretty tight little player pool to do that with too.
Right, for sure. Yeah. Hey, on the website, on our optimizer, you can build your own player pool, kind of run 150 line based on the guys that you like. A lot of different things that you can do within the optimizers. Check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Yeah, man, let's jump into this slate. So the first game we're gonna go with is gonna be the Charlotte Hornets going into Orlando to face the Magic. This game has a 215 over-under, which is the lowest on the slate, and Orlando's favored by 3.5 in this one.
You can start with Kemba Walker. I think he'll be fair. He's not going to be like a really high-owned player, but he's going to be fairly owned because of the fact that so many people like to stack up the first game of the slate, and then Kemba Walker's had some pretty recent success, a couple of really big games. So I think he'll be fairly owned. He's obviously contrarian with Russell Westbrook on the slate. At this point, you're basically trying to eliminate players. You want Kemba Walker in your pool because I think at this point you're trying to figure out how many different ways you can pair up the big upper price tier point guards with Kadeem Allen. He's probably going to be the chalkiest play at the point guard number 2 spot. So in this situation, I'm fine with Kemba Walker. Jeremy Lamb at 6.6. There's a lot of value on the board. I think he'd be a way to go different as well. I don't really want to get the way the builds kind of work out. If you're going to, the places to really pay up for is to get a point guard and either Paul George, Anthony Davis kind of off the slate. So, I don't know if I want to pay up at shooting guard. It's more of there's a lot of value there. So that would be contrarian as well. Outside of that, this is a really ugly situation here. Cody Zeller, fine in tournaments. Not going to get a lot of minutes, but the only other play besides Walker that I'm really going to look at is Michael Kidd-Gilchrist coming off the bench.
Yeah, man, for sure. It is definitely an ugly slate. On the Magic side of things, there's a couple of guys you could definitely look at. Vucevic, 10.5. He's by far the best center on the slate, in my opinion. It's just all about if you can fit him in or not. If you can fit him in, I definitely think he's a really good play. He's going to give you a really solid floor if you are playing cash games today. I definitely don't recommend playing cash games, but if you do, hey, he's going to give you that floor that you're looking for. Aaron Gordon, 7.5. He's a very fair price tag. He's a guy that we can definitely consider as well. I would say, usually Aaron Gordon is a little bit more GPP play for me. But on this slate, we're looking for a little bit of consistency. And I like Aaron Gordon in this spot, as well as DJ Augustine, 5,000. The guy's playing very, very well, for the most part. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. He's actually been a little bit of a rough stretch the past 5 games. Before that, he was playing very, very well. I'm not going to really worry about recency bias. You only need 25 for him to hit value. I definitely think this is a spot that he can get there at home going against Kemba Walker, who's not the best defender. It's a small slate, and we're gonna have to play some guys that we may feel a little bit uncomfortable with. That's just kind of what happens on slates like this. So I mean, I honestly, I pretty much like all the Magic starters. I think that they're all in play. Jonathan Isaac, his price tag 6.8. I don't know if I really want to pay 6.8 for Jonathan Isaac. He's a one guy that I'm kind of like about, but he's been playing very well. I mean, he deserves his price tag. One thing though is he's getting a ton of blocks right now, and that's one thing about it is I don't like chasing somebody's fantasy points because they're getting 3 to 5 blocks a game. Because if they don't get those blocks, then that's what 10 to 15 points less, and then he's not really killing the price tag that he's at. But I definitely think he's in play. 6.8. What's your thoughts on Jonathan Isaac?
Play him.
Huh?
Play him.
Play him. I just hate chasing defensive stats. That's my thing.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Look, if you want to figure out how you should play this slate, this is exactly how you should do it. Honestly, build yourself a player pool. Eliminate some players that that have no business being in lineups. DJ Augustine is one of them because of Kadeem Allen is a much better play, in my opinion, than DJ Augustine. So you start eliminating people, and then you start stacking players at positions together and just make a bunch of different variations. So, you start with, Russell Westbrook, Kemba Walker, Russell Westbrook, you go down to Kadeem Allen and Trae Young, and you just mix them all together and match them up and do it by position. That's the best way to get exposure to tonight. Build a bunch of lines of tournaments because you're right. 6.8 for Jonathan Isaac for a guy who's getting 2 or 3 blocks a game. His price is inflated. You have to play him tonight because other people are going to. I hate getting into this game where you start having to play people because they become a free square and then it becomes Chalk City. Right. I just don't like to really play this game. So find out a way to differentiate yourself. And the way to do that on these slates is just by matching up players at positions and building lineups around 2 players at a position per lineup.
Yeah, no, I get you. So for me, I mean, I think that all 5 of the Magic starters are in play. And then I'll definitely look at Terrence Ross coming off the bench. A guy has been playing very well for them coming off the bench. He has 40 fantasy point upside. We know that. So I mean, that's really where I'm at with the Magic. So starters, you throw in Terrence Ross and you kind of move on. Now, hey, we're going to get in the game that we just, right before we got on here, we talked about. This is part of the game that you really want to target. It's going to be a very up-tempo game, 225.5 over under. Atlanta's favored by 8 in this one. New York is on the second end of a back-to-back as well. Just wanted to mention that. And yeah, so what do you think on the Knicks side of things?
The unfortunate thing is that their prices are where they're at. And the reason it's unfortunate is because it almost makes it impossible to play cash games tonight because of the fact that this is where everybody's going to go to get their value so they can play Russell Westbrook and Paul George. That's just the way it is. You're going to look at Kadeem Allen. The guy's getting minutes, and he's putting up fantasy points. You're going to look at Noah Vonleh at 4.5, who's starting. You look at Damian Dotson, 3.7, who's getting almost 30 minutes in his last 2 games. You're going to look at Alonzo Trier with, especially if Hezonja is doubtful. So, you take him out of it. Now you've got Damian Dotson, you've got Trier, Kadeem Allen, all guys that are very low price, going to get 25 minutes plus tonight. And then you look at the guy, Kevin Knox, who's starting. He takes a lot of threes. He'll be in lineups tonight as well. The one guy I think that probably people don't load up tonight is DeAndre Jordan at 6,000 because I think there's other spots and other ways to build. But DeAndre Jordan's even in play as well, and so is Dennis Smith Jr. The Knicks are going to be the chalk because of their prices, and that's just the way it is because you can fit them in your lineup and pay up in other spots. And it's a game that we know won't be – they're in the same exact spot the Lakers were in Wednesday night. They're in the same exact spot.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, on the hot side of things, usually, there would only be a couple guys that I talk about. But, hey, man, it's a small slate. I definitely think there are some guys that are in play. I like the 4 starters outside of Huerter or Kevin Huerter, however you say it. Yeah, he is a game-time decision. If he is out, the guy that I like, he's probable, so he probably is going to play. But this guy, I mean, his minutes – they're steady a little bit, but I think they're going to start coming down after the All-Star break. I definitely think they're going to start working Bazemore back in. We just played Bazemore last game, and he's a guy that fills up the stat sheet. And they're really high on Bazemore. So for me, I like, the 4 starters, Dwayne Dedmon, Collins, Young, Prince, and then I'll throw in, Bazemore in there kind of as well. Alex Lynn at a bare minimum price tag of 3.6. I definitely think you could throw him in a couple lineups, and if he doesn't have a good game or he doesn't get the minutes, it's fine. He could be your job spot. I definitely think Alex Lynn is in play as well. So, I mean, like I said, it's Dwayne Dedmon, Collins, Trey Young, Prince, Bazemore. You could throw in Lynn. If you want to ask me my two top plays, I mean, obviously the two top plays are going to be Trey Young and John Collins, and then you kind of figure out where you want to go with the other guys that I mentioned. But that's really where I'm at with the Hawks. It's pretty simple.
I like Bazemore because with Jeremy Lin gone, Bazemore's coming in the game and he's playing point guard.
Backup point guard. Yep, for sure. I agree. So, I mean, we'll move on to the next game. Next game we're going to go with is going to be the OKC Thunder going into New Orleans to face the Pelicans. This game has a 238.5 over-under, and OKC's favored by 4.5 in this one.
I'm sorry, bro. I got distracted. It's freaking pouring outside my window.
Yeah, me too.
Pouring.
Yeah.
We ain't used to this. Yeah, man, look, I think Paul George and Russell Westbrook are going to be extremely popular tonight because there's enough value on the board to get them. I look for the contrarian plays to be, look, if you're going to play tonight, you're borderline nuts as it is, and you're a DFS junkie and you want action. So load up some Pelicans. I'm just going to tell you that right now because nobody's going to want to play these guys. But on the flip side of it, you're just as insane to play Paul George and Russell Westbrook, even though they're going to be chalked because people want to pay up for them. Because of the fact that we don't know what the Pelicans are going to do. This game could very easily turn into a blowout. This is a spread that Vegas is, this is a Vegas spread based off numbers, and it's not based off watching them get the doors blown off of them in their last game and not even tallying up many minutes for even Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday played minimum minutes. Julius Randle played minimum minutes. Anthony Davis, we've seen this guy get just dicked around for ever since the trade deadline has passed. The first game back, he didn't play. He didn't play the fourth quarter. So you're nuts to play these guys as well. If you ask me my favorite plays on this side, I really like Terrence Ferguson at 4,000. The guy plays a lot of minutes, fills up the stat sheet. I think he's a really good pivot play to some of the other value that's going to be out there that should be somewhat popular. And then I look for Nerlens Noel to get some run in this game. I really do. Without Jeremy Grant and this type of a game, Steven Adams could get in a bit of foul trouble if they do play it out fully. And he can run the floor. We've mentioned it before. I look for Nerlens Noel to get a little bit of run here. I like him in tournaments. But my favorite play, honestly, with George and Westbrook go without mention, my favorite play is really Terrence Ferguson. I like him in this spot a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on the Pelicans side of things, you mentioned it. I mean, I don't know. The guy that I like, I think my favorite play on the Pelicans is going to be Jahlil Okafor. When Anthony Davis came back, he got a couple of games where he didn't even get no run, etc. And then they moved him into the starting lineup right next to Anthony Davis. We know, and Anthony Davis came out and said this, even last year, he doesn't like being the starting center. He likes being a power forward. He doesn't want to play center. Hey, Okafor, they put him in the starting lineup. He didn't have the best game, I understand, but the price tag is down. He was just $7,500 a couple weeks ago, back down to $5,400, and he played 29 minutes. We talked about some of the other minutes getting buzzed off for some of the other guys, but hey, he got his. Even if he's going to play 25 minutes in this spot, I definitely think he's a good play. The guy has double-double upside any night. So I think that just the price-wise, I'm just speaking, price-wise, I think Okafor is probably the best play on the Pelicans. I mean, everybody else is pretty priced up. You got Drew Holiday, 9,000, Anthony Davis, 11.5. I can't play Anthony Davis at 11.5 on Fanduel just because, we don't know. I mean, the minutes are there sometimes, the minutes are not. He just looks like he doesn't really want to play him. They look like they don't really want to play him. On DraftKings, it's a different story. 9,000 on DraftKings. Very, very fair price tag on DraftKings. I definitely think he is in play there. He's just way too cheap. It's almost like stealing Anthony Davis on DraftKings. FanDuel, no thank you. Drew Holiday, if he's going to get his regular minutes of 35-plus minutes, I definitely think he's in play. The surprising guy that's been playing very, very well has been Williams. I'm going to throw last game out the window. He only had 10 fantasy points. You mentioned it. The whole team just really had a bad game. But the positive, he still played 31 minutes. And we know the Pelicans, they usually play their guys, for the most part, a bunch of minutes. Randall coming off the bench with a price drop, 7,300. I definitely think he's in play as well. His minutes have just kind of been up and down. 2 games, he's played 30. 2 games, he's played 24, 21. I do want to see him more, close to the 30 range if he's going to be, 7.3. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. For me, it's really, I like Okafor. You can look at, Williams. You can look at Holiday, throwing a little Randall. Did I miss anybody, or is that really where you're at as well on the Pelicans?
Tim Frazier's playing a lot of minutes.
You like him? Okay. Tim Frazier? Okay. So, yeah.
Look. This is the truth, okay? This is the honest truth. And unless the NBA is going to call up the Pelicans and the Knicks and all these teams and tell them that we're going to start fining you 100,000 games for tanking, then they're going to play their guy. They've been backed into a corner, okay? They wanted to sit Anthony Davis. They were told by the NBA, we'll fine you $100,000 per game that you sit him out. So they ran him out there and they played him. Did they play him much? No, but the NBA can't say anything because they played him. So they're going to get a draft pick. That's what they're going to do. They're going to get a draft pick. So if that's what they're going to do, I can't believe this game is a 4.5-point spread right now because I just can't see them changing course. And now all of a sudden saying we're going to make a playoff push one game before the All-Star break when the last three have been crap. So you have to look at the guys that are going to come in and fill up minutes. I think that Williams is a staple because of the fact he's a young guy. He'll get run. But maybe Okafor will get run as well, but Tim Frazier's going to get run. Darius Miller's going to get run. And then, a deep GPP play is Diallo. He'll get some run too. I think he played 10 minutes in his last game, but he just didn't do anything with it. But they're going to give these guys a little bit of run so they can't get in trouble with the NBA, and it's not apparent they're taking for a draft pick, even though they are. But make no mistake about it. They're not going to put a competitive product on the floor for the rest of the season. They know Anthony Davis is gone. They know they got to trade him. And the NBA called their bluff and said, we're going to fine you $100K for every game you sit him out. So what they do, they ran him out there.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, man, that's it. I know it was a quick one, but we only had a quick 3-game slate. I just want to reiterate this one more time. Please do not go crazy just because this is the last slate until after the All-Star break. It's ugly slate, GPP slate. Throw in 150 lines, move on. If you haven't came and checked out our website, dfscheatsheet.com, we got everything that you need to help Max Center tonight, any other night. And yeah, man, if you want to play the lineups that we're playing tonight, or you want to, like I said, come, check out other content we got, come mess with the optimizer, everything we got, dfscheatsheet.com. If we don't talk to you guys before then, man, good luck on your guys' contests tonight, and we will be back next week after the All-Star break. Peace out.